When you're tired, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, shows decreased glucose metabolism by up to 12%. This is contrary to the common belief that fatigue merely slows you down. Reduced glucose levels impair the cortex's ability to perform executive functions. This means that your ability to weigh options, analyze consequences, and control impulses is compromised. You aren't just sleepy. Your brain's decision-making headquarters is underfueled. This metabolic slowdown affects your choices, leading to more impulsive decisions. Even minor fatigue can cause this shift, as shown in a 2016 study from the University of California, Berkeley. Stress hormones like cortisol don't just make you feel frazzled, they actively alter brain structures. Within just 30 minutes of release, cortisol can reduce dendrite density in the hippocampus. The hippocampus, crucial for memory formation, starts to lose its capacity to encode new memories. But there's a paradox. Cortisol makes your amygdala more responsive. This part of your brain becomes hyperactive, heightening emotional responses and narrowing focus. So, when you're tired and stressed, your brain is wired to prioritize survival reactions over thoughtful decision-making. This dual action can distort how you perceive choice and risk. Fatigue also affects dopamine signaling. This neurotransmitter, often associated with pleasure, is crucial for motivation and reward-based decisions. Sleep deprivation reduces dopamine receptor availability in the striatum, a key brain region for habit formation. A 2012 study in the Journal of Neuroscience found this reduction after just one night of poor sleep. With fewer receptors, your brain struggles to interpret rewards, making you more susceptible to short-term gratifications. The balance tilts towards impulsivity as your brain's reward system falters. This is why tiredness can make even trivial temptations hard to resist. Your brain's default mode network, DMN, a critical system for introspection and self-referential thinking, shows increased activity when you're fatigued. This network, often active during rest, paradoxically consumes more energy when tiredness sets in. Increased DMN activity means your brain is more likely to wander, making focused decision-making challenging. This internal distraction can lead to errors in judgment, as your mind drifts away from the task at hand. Research from the University of Cambridge in 2018 revealed that fatigued individuals showed a 40% increase in DMN activity. Such shifts underscore the cognitive costs of insufficient rest. Tiredness skews your perception of time, altering choices. Your brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, responsible for circadian rhythms, becomes desynchronized. This disruption impacts your internal clock, leading to misjudgments about how long tasks will take. A 2017 study in Sleep Medicine Reviews showed that sleep-deprived individuals consistently underestimated task duration by 15%. This temporal distortion can lead to procrastination, as tasks seem deceptively shorter. When your timing is off, planning falters and you become prone to rushed decisions. These small errors accumulate, illustrating how fatigue quietly undermines judgment. Cortisol's impact on your brain isn't just about immediate stress, it has cellular consequences. One effect is the reduction of dendritic spines in the hippocampus, crucial for synaptic connections. This reduction impairs your ability to form new memories. Imagine trying to build a bridge with fewer materials. Connections falter. Chronic exposure further exacerbates this, reducing neural plasticity. A 2015 study in Nature Neuroscience showed these changes can occur within just days of elevated cortisol. The hippocampus's compromised state is why, when tired and stressed, recalling information becomes more challenging. These structural changes underscore the brain's vulnerability under stress. Amygdala prefrontal connectivity suffers under stress, skewing decision-making. The amygdala, your brain's emotional center, becomes hyperactive, sending stronger signals to the prefrontal cortex. This heightened connectivity prioritizes emotional responses over rational thought, as a 2017 study in biological psychiatry discovered. Normally, the prefrontal cortex regulates these signals, but fatigue weakens this control, akin to a malfunctioning brake system. The result: decisions are more emotion-driven and less logical. When tired, this neural imbalance makes you more likely to react impulsively. The amygdala's dominance highlights how stress and fatigue distort decision-making processes. Dopamine receptor downregulation is a key player in fatigue's effect on decision-making. With fewer receptors in the striatum, dopamine's role in reward processing falters. Your brain struggles to differentiate between high and low-value rewards. A 2014 study from the Journal of Clinical Investigation showed that receptor density can drop by 5% after sleep deprivation. This diminishes your motivation, making effortful decisions less appealing. The impaired reward system leads you to prioritize immediate gratification, often at the expense of long-term benefits. This receptor downregulation shifts your decision-making calculus, favoring the path of least resistance. Habit encoding within the basal ganglia is altered by tiredness. This brain region, essential for routine behaviors, relies on consistent dopamine signaling. When sleep-deprived, its function skews towards automatic actions, as revealed by a 2019 study in Frontiers in Neuroscience. The tired brain defaults to established habits, reducing cognitive load. This shift explains why tiredness often leads to repetitive, habitual choices rather than new or complex ones. The basal ganglia's reliance on energy-efficient pathways underscores fatigue's subtle inclination towards routine over innovation. This mechanism highlights your brain's efficiency-driven adaptation when resources are low. Under stress, brain-derived neurotrophic factor (BDNF) expression is suppressed, impacting synaptic plasticity. BDNF, crucial for learning and memory, diminishes with elevated cortisol. A 2013 study in molecular psychiatry found a 20% reduction in BDNF levels after stress exposure. This suppression weakens synaptic connections, hindering your brain's ability to adapt and learn. Lower BDNF means your neural networks become less flexible, affecting decision-making. When tired, this reduction compounds with fatigue's effects, making it harder to adapt to new information. BDNF's role illustrates how stress and tiredness can reshape cognitive processes at the molecular level. Chronic stress versus acute stress reveals divergent impacts on brain function. Acute stress can temporarily enhance focus, but chronic stress deteriorates cognitive abilities. This is due to prolonged cortisol exposure, which erodes hippocampal volume by up to 14%, according to a 2014 study in Neurobiology of Stress. This reduction affects memory and decision-making, as the hippocampus shrinks. In contrast, acute stress may sharpen the prefrontal cortex for immediate challenges. However, chronic stress creates a lingering fog, disrupting clarity and executive function over time. This dichotomy illustrates how stress duration fundamentally alters brain architecture and decision-making capacity. Self-help mantras often emphasize mindset, yet peer-reviewed neuroscience tells a different story. It's not just about thinking positively, it's about the neural pathways involved. Neuroplasticity allows your brain to rewire under repeated experiences. However, fatigue disrupts this adaptability, leading to rigid thought patterns. A 2020 study in Nature Reviews Neuroscience emphasized that sleep deprivation reduces neuroplasticity by over 20%. This rigidity makes flexible thinking more challenging, trapping you in repetitive decision loops. The science indicates that genuine change requires biological conditions conducive to adaptability, not just affirmations. Brain imaging studies defy popular psychology by illustrating how fatigue rewires neural networks. Functional MRI scans reveal reduced activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, essential for executive tasks. This reduction correlates with increased errors and impulsive decisions, as seen in a 2018 study published in Journal of Neuroscience. Traditional self-help overlooks these physiological constraints, focusing instead on willpower. The scans demonstrate that fatigue physically limits decision-making capacity, challenging the notion that it's purely mental. These images highlight the tangible, structural changes that tiredness imposes, underscoring the need for rest. Chronic sleep deprivation has long-term effects that extend beyond immediate decision-making. Over time, it can lead to synaptic pruning, where the brain trims neural connections, affecting learning and memory. A 2019 study in Science found that extended sleep loss accelerates this process in adolescence, a critical period for brain development. The loss of these connections means reduced cognitive flexibility and impaired decision-making ability. While initially these changes might seem subtle, their cumulative impact can be profound, altering how your brain processes information and reacts to decisions. This long-term pruning emphasizes the necessity of adequate sleep for healthy brain function. Reframing tiredness reveals surprising insights. A 2021 study from Stanford University showed that just a single night of adequate sleep increased decision-making accuracy by 24%. This significant shift emphasizes the brain's resilience and capacity for recovery. It highlights that while fatigue impairs function, restoration is possible with proper rest. This finding underscores the dynamic nature of the brain, capable of rebounding with the right conditions. It's not just about avoiding fatigue, but understanding how pivotal sleep is in resetting neural function and enhancing cognitive processes. This study exemplifies the power of rest in optimizing brain health.